We're now walking up onto the ridge, more onto the ridge, from Macer Orne up to the top here. This area is where the Black Watch attack went in, and up and over to this side, coming around the bend here. So I will go up on the higher up there on the peak and see what we can see from up there. This is a map of Operation Spring that took place on July 25th, 1944. We'll be focusing on the area where the arrow is pointing just outside Macer Orne on Verrières Ridge. So directly ahead, right, you can see the field of canola to the right, that green patch, and then the top, that is point 67. So that's the vantage point that the Canadians had through most of this, especially being able to direct artillery, which is further back, and able to hit these positions when they can, when there's not communication breakdowns, which unfortunately in this area happened frequently. So Fontenay is up that way, off that rise and following that path in between where you can see dirt piles and the tree line. Fontenay is up on the other side. Continuing to walk up the ridge, and I just want to talk about a map that I kind of put together from a few different sources that I made available to my patrons and YouTube channel members a while back of this position. Distraction, this guy's been buzzing the hill for like an hour. I know how the Germans feel. Anyway, so I put this map together from various different sources, and roughly right around in here was a large number of fire trenches, particularly up over that rise. Dug in tanks, mortars, self-propelled artillery. This is an aerial photo of Macer Orne roughly around the time of Operation Spring in July, so it gives a good idea of what the ground looked like at the time of the attack. This arrow locates roughly where my walk began. The town has grown more onto the ridge since 1944. Also, right at that area, you can see the curve in the aerial photo. That indicates where the rise is beginning. This is the map I was mentioning in the video earlier. As you can see, the Black Watch had lots to contend with here. You can see suspected self-propelled artillery positions, fire trenches, machine guns, mortars, all kinds of things they had to face here. So the Black Watch are coming right through here, and they're getting pummeled before they can even get to the ridge line. Some of them did, apparently, but most of them did not, and had to fall back through here, almost all the way back, some of them, to point 67. It's another wayfinding point here. So that's Macer Orne ending as it is today. Moving across, you can see the tower. So that's a good indicator from, say, when you're on point 67 to where you are and what's ahead of you, right? And then there's the rest right out there, St. Andre and St. Martin. It's getting closer to this rise here, but I just wanted to stop again. So this is the area kind of on the reverse slope with the Germans would be having right down there. So Fontenay is actually the objective of the Black Watch during Operation Spring, which you can see, but this is the modern part of Fontenay. The rest is on the back side of the slope. So they're trying to get up over here, through here, right, and this is May, right along here. And then Fontenay is down on the other side. So they're trying to come over. They just never get through this field. I mean, some do, right? A lot of them are killed. A number of their COs are killed, including Griffin on the attack itself. So it's not really known too many details of what the advance actually looked like. So this is one of those, not necessarily mysteries, but one of those things we'd all like more details on, but we're not going to get probably ever, unfortunately. So again, we're looking back towards point 67, at the far end of that ridge line back there, right, with the canola there, work your way a little bit over to the far end, and that's point 67. So again, right through here, that's where a lot of bad things happen. From this position, you can also see where the Essex Scottish and South Saskatchewan Regiment came through during the Atlantic. They didn't get as far as the Black Watch. They didn't make it up to May. Both were forced to turn back after unsuccessful attacks up the ridge. And moving in this direction, I don't think I can see much more from up there because there's barn and houses and all that good stuff. Because Fontenay is right there now, right? They're almost parallel to each other with their extent, which on the day of all of these operations, they were not. So it doesn't look like I can see much, but the ridge continues on in this direction. Up here, as I'm showing you now, the water tower that way, where Verrières and all this other stuff is. So I think this is probably as good as it's going to get. And as I'm walking along the ridge back down towards May, one of the things I do want to point out, because again, I like to get these mental pictures as best as possible when I'm thinking about this stuff, is the crops here. I'm here in April, so the crops aren't very high. On the day, they were very high, right? They hadn't been harvested because of the fighting, so that didn't happen. So when the attack goes badly, a large number of the men, those who are wounded or to get, when they can get down, get into the crops. They can't move, right? Because it's not that tall. They'll still be seen. So they have to get down, and then the Germans come through with the armored reinforcements, call them to surrender, and to get up, they just drive wherever to try to get them up and out. And a fair number of them do surrender. A few of them are killed. This is Verrieres Ridge.